So, when I sold my late 2012 13-inch Retina MacBook Pro, I lost a lot of productivity. So searching for a replacement laptop just 2 months later, I wanted something that was under £300 with a high-res screen, backlit keyboard, and something that would keep me going until I can afford to buy a brand new MacBook Pro. And I knew that the XPS 12 existed because of Linus, the guy who left it out in the rain and managed to fix it. So I bought it at £295 with a decent resolution screen, build quality, portability, and keyboard. Hey guys, it's Ryan Thomas with Tech, and today I'll be reviewing the base model Dell XPS 12 from just a few years ago. So stepping down in the price range so much was a little bit of a culture shock when I only got a 1080p screen as opposed to the Retina display, but it's a touchscreen, and so there's quite a lot of convenience that comes with that. I used the touchscreen more than I really thought I would when I first looked at this, with scrolling through the web browser being the most useful case. Note that I really could only get this to work on Chrome on Ubuntu, and that's annoying. It didn't really work in Firefox. The screen itself is IPS and is actually pretty sharp due to the 1080p panel crammed into the near enough 12.5-inch form factor. Colours are okay, although the display isn't quite as good as the MacBook Pro, but for this price, what are you expecting? Maybe I should stop comparing this device to a laptop that literally cost me over twice as much at the time. The build is a mix of soft touch plastic, carbon fibre and metal. The transformable design is something that has turned out to be more useful than I once thought. Maybe using the device as a tablet is a little optimistic due to the chunkiness, but it definitely comes in handy if you have limited space. I/O consists of a power in, 2 times USB 3.0 ports, useful power indicator and display port on the right along with the right speaker, auto rotate lock, headphone jack, power switch and volume rocker on the left with the left speaker. The speakers themselves are pretty tinny and dreadful. It's weirdly similar experience with the headphone jack too, not the best audio experience overall here then. You might want to go with a separate DAC. For performance, you're getting a 1.8 GHz Ivy bridge, that's 3rd generation dual core i5 with hyper-threading, so 4 threads for the system to use. You get 4 GB of soldered and unupgradable RAM, unfortunately, and an upgradable 128 GB mSATA SSD with onboard graphics. Due to the fact I went from an 8 GB RAM to 4 GB RAM model, I installed Ubuntu because of the fact Windows is such a RAM whore. The problem with that is that you really don't get too much of a Windows perspective, and I can't really give you too much of that. I can tell you that when I did have it installed, Rocket League ran pretty well, and Windows 8 is definitely suited to a touchscreen, but I wouldn't recommend gaming on this thing. Under load, the fans are pretty loud too. Not the worst I've ever had, but I wouldn't recommend gaming on this or even on Ubuntu due to the way that input lag is with the mouse. The keyboard is a 10 keyless individually backlit chiclet style keyboard that I do like. The flex is minimal whilst typing, and the pressure needed for a key actuation is a little bit more than I'm accustomed to with my Magic keyboard. Also in Ubuntu, you need to press the function key to activate the media controls, but now I'm being a little bit picky. I do value a backlit keyboard more than I thought I would have before I bought a laptop with a backlit keyboard. I do miss it on my non-backlit Magic keyboard. The trackpad is good, but it's no Apple trackpad unfortunately. It's fairly large, but it's not the biggest. It supports multi-touch gestures and has 2 seamless buttons at the bottom. It's made of frosted glass, which is in my opinion the best material for a trackpad, and the combination of this trackpad and the touchscreen together is great and increases productivity, although if you want to be a little bit more precise, I would recommend using a wired or wireless external mouse. The battery life isn't the most impressive either, but it's replaceable, so if you want to and you have the correct tools, you can replace the battery yourself. I get about an hour to 2 hours of use, but of course this is an old battery on an old laptop that hasn't been replaced in its 2.5 years of existence. The webcam exists, and I really will probably never use it. I never have and probably never will. So would I recommend it overall? Well, it's 50-50. It's definitely not my favourite laptop ever, but its touch-sensitive 1080p screen is good. I/O isn't the worst ever, and I do like the build. I also do love the keyboard, and I like the glass trackpad and the form factor of the laptop itself, but the audio experience is fairly dreadful. The soldered RAM and mSATA SSD interface is incredibly inconvenient if you want to upgrade in the future, which you pretty much can't with the RAM, and the battery life isn't great either. That said, it's hard to find any other laptop on the market with a 1080p display and backlit keyboard for under £300. Yes, this is used, but of course newer laptops are more expensive with those feature sets. The feature set is great, and I'm sure if you replaced the battery and installed Windows, you'd have a more of a fun experience. So the question is, do I like mine? Well, yes, actually. Do I love it? No, not really. Nowhere near to the level that I loved my MacBook Pro, but of course that was over twice the price. I think it's probably due to the fact I do have Ubuntu installed on my current laptop, the Dell XPS 12, and it kind of hinders the experience because I'm used to the more featureful Windows. So apart from that, thanks for watching, guys. I do recommend this laptop if you want something with that feature set. You can of course replace the battery if you know what you're doing. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, then leave it a like, dislike it if you didn't enjoy it, and tell me in the comments what you thought. Subscribe if you're new to never miss a video like this one, and I hope you have a great week. I'll catch you on Friday. Peace.